Hello, this is Joseph with the My Cross, His Grace podcast radio. As a public service, we're going to help the College of Cardinals in selecting the next pope. All right, so in selecting the next pope, we have to decide what it is that we want the next pope to be. So it may be actually a little easier if we say, what are some of the qualities that we do not want? Okay, we don't want somebody who's so far off the rails liberal to start with. Marxist, socialist, don't need any of that. Paganism, globalism, don't need any of that. Doesn't apply. We don't want anyone bringing in heresies into the Catholic faith at all. All right, so what are we looking for? Well, look at this beautiful building here. All right, it's magnificent. It represents a lot of history. It represents the faithful worldwide. So what we're looking for is a man who is going to be selected from among the College of Cardinals, who already accepts the deposit of faith, that set of doctrines and practices that have been handed down to us through the centuries, to teach on it, to protect it as received, and to pass it along to other generations going forward. It's that easy, okay? It's kind of like having an owner's manual for a Chevy or a Ford or a Buick, okay? You got everything in there. Compare that to the Bible, all right? So if there's a hiccup, something that needs a tweak, something that needs examination, something that needs to be looked at and examined, look it up. Right? Follow the guide. Everything's fine after that. That's all we're looking for. And remember, we have in very recent history a pope who suggested changing the words to the Our Father. That should have been a clue. All right, so that's just a little cheat sheet note that somebody could take into the conclave and help select who the next pope would be. All right. If we're going to examine things a little more detailed than that, I've always been curious to know. I've never found out how somebody dressed in a white cassock can actually eat spaghetti and meatballs. You know, is there some kind of protocol for that? Because how do you not get it all over you? You know? And then, you know, with the Vatican being so huge and vast, the grounds, it's magnificent, right? Has anybody ever seen a dog walking around? I haven't. There's something wrong with that. How about a cat? That'd be nice, laying on a windowsill somewhere with the Pope petting, stroking the cat, you know? Shows a little connection to Mother Earth and the animal kingdom. That'd be a nice touch, you know? So, yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff to think about, but those are just a few that were on my mind. I wanted to pass them along to the College of Cardinals and suggest that, you know, we do want a moral figure, somebody who is going to represent the faith as it has been handed to us through the centuries, to stand up in the world and to offer correction and guidance in the typical sense that you would expect from any man of faith, leading a worldwide population of at least 1.39 billion baptized Catholics worldwide. That's really why we care about what we're talking about. You know, when we talk about the church, there are two things to take into consideration. There is the church that, of course, the faithful are largely familiar with, and that is what goes on at their parish. Daily Mass, Sunday Mass, all right, receiving the sacraments, the holy days of obligation, and the life and joy of the liturgical season at their parish church, which is repeated in every church across the world daily. Then there's the other part of the same church, which is known as the Holy See, S-E-E. It represents the actual governmental side of the church. I'm not talking the administration side. I am talking about the government side, because the Vatican, the church, the Vatican, is the smallest country in the world. They have their own currency, they produce their own passports, they appoint ambassadors around the world. The United States, for example, appoints an ambassador to the Vatican. You have this diplomatic recognition. That's why when the Pope visits the United States, for example, he enjoys the full complement of Secret Service protection. You see him visiting the White House and flying on Marine One. Why is that? Do you see that with Billy Graham? Do you see that with the Dalai Lama? No. Main reason being, they're not heads of state, but the Pope is. All right, and that's the main difference. So we look for somebody who's not only going to represent the faith, the deposit of faith, the teachings, but who is also going to represent the church to the governments and the people of the world. And he has the best platform to be able to do that. So that's it for now. We'll be talking more. You've been listening to and watching the My Cross, His Grace podcast radio. Have a great day.